set to go for the Foundation Cup Grand Final. Umpire Tim Pfeiffer holds the ball aloft and they are set to go. Good crowd and pretty good conditions, no sign of rain. Arnold and also Nickel doing the ruck work for their respective teams. Big pack in the centre, and there'll be a ball up on the attacking side of centre for the Eagles. Central District won the toss. They decided to kick to the southern end of the ground, and we're expecting a big game of football here. Plenty at stake. The Eagles, they're the reigning night premiers, and for Central District it's the first time ever in a grand final. So what a moment for these 22 boys for Central District. McKinnon's got the footy, Nichols got him the free kick, and it goes to Marty McKinnon at centre half back for Central District. There's the kick out by Green, a long one to the far side of the ground. Chance for Peter Schwarz, who's back in the team after injury for the Eagles. High kick, McKinnon getting underneath it, so too Stevens, and Stevens takes the mark on the half-back flank out aside.
His kick towards half forward. They hit the deck. Squirts in there. Ingerson as well. So too Schwarz. Finally they come out with it. The Dogs are forward. Underneath it, Nickel couldn't take it. It looked easy but wasn't. Finally the Eagles clear, and this is through Hannum. That's Sean Hannum. Oh, the Zillas, they play well every week for the Eagles. Morford, he kicked 4 in the first quarter against West Adelaide. They're going through the bias now, over the 50. Taylor in front, big knock from behind. Finally through Wakeland, cool as you like. Left foot, and the kick, not as good as it should have been to McKinnon. Oh, the kick a bad one, straight to Jason Zilla.
Zilla far side, the 22-year-old, 52 games under his belt. Gets on with it, Taylor the target, up he goes. Couldn't control it, had it knocked away. Pays runs onto the bouncing ball, had a blinder of the first quarter last week. Here's a chance now for Kennedy under enormous pressure. Over there too is Abbott, and he's forced out of bounds, but he's going to get a free kick. So the defender, John Abbott, gets on with it, kicks to half-back. Chance now for, that was Timothy Cook, number 6. Now Zilla got it from Totham. Totham kicks towards centre half forward. Taylor storms out. At the back is Hicks, overruns it. Here's an Eagles chance now. Taylor had to steal it from his teammate, then he got caught. Well done, picked up by Damien Arnold. He was working hard. They're out of trouble here, Central District.
And the body work and the pressure is pretty good from the Dogs early. Bruce Witter said in this morning's press he expected that Swirt, the biggest possession getter alongside McGowan at the Dogs. Schwarz runs through the centre of the ground. Has a look, he wanted Taylor. The kick's a terrible one. Taylor first to it. He'll be mobbed by Dogs. A chance now to Bias. Caught, Girdham. Had a big one last week. He had 16 and 20 handballs. The Dogs are working hard. This is Grant. He'll try and do it alone. Great tackle. It's Kennedy.
Wasn't rewarded though. What a fantastic opening to this game. Very quick and physical. We're expecting a game where players from both sides will throw themselves in at it. They've both got very high tackling rates, but the pace of the game at the moment, absolutely spot on.
Yes, no score yet, 3 minutes gone. Nichols slung off the football, got the kick away. Here's Stevens running into the back pocket, gets it across to McGowan. He slips it infield now for Windsor. Windsor with a clever hand pass to Potter, in trouble though. Just couldn't quite get rid of it. Yes, he does. Well done to Gurdon, the skipper for Central District. Shocking hand pass. Pesh, over it goes now to Zilla. Short pass and getting back and defending well. He's done very well, John Abbott, in the early stages.
Yes, and he played well at Adelaide Oval last week for the Dogs. In the game in round 8, it was a Raider. Far side is McKinnon. Did it well, the left footer. Through the centre to Ramers. He kicked 4 himself last week, had a big one. Ingerson puts it forward. They'd love to get the first goal, the Dogs. They're a chance. That's Richardson, goes to Swirt. Holding the ball. Stephen.
It was hot, wasn't it? I think you'll find that Stephen Swirt did take the ball, but equally quickly it was gone. The replay just after possession was taken, and indeed a 25-metre penalty to boot. So Stephen Swirt, who started so very well last week with the first goal for the Bulldogs and then continued to finish it off. He finished with 6 as a rover. Looks to have started on the ball as well tonight.
And Eagles, they're top of the ladder. They've won 7, lost 1. And Central 5 and 3. They're in second place on percentage over Port Adelaide by 1.5. There's a pretty tight bunch there. Three clubs on 5 wins. The kick is in long. Kennedy underneath it, couldn't quite take it. Morford can't get through. Tobias almost. A chance, Kennedy. Around the corner, the bounce, not quite. First score, 5 minutes in, and it's the Eagles.
A couple of good forays into their forward line by the Eagles. Bruce Winter watching on. He was fairly cool before the game, despite the fact that they'd lost 3 key players in Negri, Schwartz and David Neiman.
Ray Windsor to McGowan. McGowan to the half-back flank. And well done by Stevens. Stevens kicks toward right half forward. Ingerson into the air. Good knock away from behind. Stolen away though by Timothy Cook. He did well. Got the hand pass to his teammate. Now it's with Stevens on centre wing on this grandstand side. Kicks to midfield, getting underneath it. Kennedy takes a good mark on his chest. Direction not good there. So Kennedy defensive side of centre for the Eagles. Gets on with it in a hurry. Taylor! No, couldn't quite take it. He's been paid a push. Push out. Taylor gets a chance here to put a score on the board for the Eagles. So Taylor is going to kick from about 50 metres. He no doubt will be one of the key players in this Eagles side. Negri, Schwartz and Neiman all out. Late exclusions.
All big men too.
Here's Taylor. 50 metres. Kick on its way. It's got the distance and it's got the accuracy. No, he's missed. Missed to the right-hand side. Fooled us all.
Yes. It's normally a bit more accurate than that, Taylor. Long way, though. A long kick.
It is a long way, and there's a very healthy breeze from left to right as he was looking at the northern end. As you can see there, the flags are standing on end. If anything, this breeze is a little fluky, but it is going directly across the ground.
The kick in now. On a lead on the far side, it was Damien Arnold. And he can't quite control it. So conditions ideal here at Footy Park for the Foundation Cup Grand Final. Reigning Foundation Cup premiers, the Eagles I should say, and also reigning premiers of the local competition. Green on the left foot, he sends the Dogs forward. They'd love to kick the first goal. Can't quite hit Reamers. Schwarz. And they're out of trouble, the Eagles, but only as far as McGowan, too high on him, 50 metres or 25. The tap of the elbow, and McGowan, can't he knock up getting possessions? He got 12 and 22 last week. That's 22 handballs. Just a super player for the Dogs. Up high, front position. Did it very, very well too, Rogers. Plenty of experience there.
Anthony Ingerson needed to play in front. Looks as though he's just started at centre half forward. Damien Arnold's in the ruck.
Rogers sweeps it to Toddem. Toddem toward the wing. Good mark taken by Tobias. Very clever player. He just came in from the side and took it on his chest. Long kick towards centre half forward. McKinnon at the back, a clever knock. Here's Potter running onto the football. Gurdon tried to juggle it, couldn't do so. Schwarz now the captain. A slick hand pass to accommodate Michael Wakeland. And in fact, it's Rowan Thorne. Thorne's kick into the forward pocket. Down there is Taylor. Out of bounds, right forward pocket. Good build up there, but nothing doing.
Was a good build-up in Thorne. Rowan Thorne, we saw him in his first game a couple of weeks ago. In fact, the Anzac Day game, he kicked 3 goals that day, and including the first 2 for the Eagles, was quite a sensational game from him. A very good player.
At almost centre wing. Ingerson's there, Nickel. He's the half-back, or centre half-back for the Eagles. Rogers was well smothered in his attempt to get it forward, so the Dogs with plenty of pressure.
Yes, they'll be at you, there's no doubt about that, particularly with a player at the ball. The only time we've seen that misguided was at Port Pirie in the last month or so, when they were thumped by North Adelaide, but generally speaking, they're first at the ball and good attacking on the body as well.
This is Schwert. He had a big one last week too. He had kicked 6 goals, had 21 possessions. Stevens has been held. I think that was pretty obvious. Centre wing, or just forward of centre wing. A lot of time. He's a favourite of mine, Stevens. He just gives you his heart all day. Ingerson on the left boot. He puts it in high, or maybe in the back of. That was Robert Hanley, Chopper Hanley, but not so, and out of bounds. The crowd at Footy Park are well rugged up for this Foundation Cup Grand Final and enjoying every bit of the action as we are.
Eagles are 2 points. Central District yet to score. We've played almost 10 minutes of the first quarter. Nickel tried to get a hand to it. Spear did cleverly. Now Rogers away from the dangerous area, just puts the ball to ground, gets on with it, kicks it toward the half-back flank. Now it's drifting up toward the wing. Here's Zilla trying desperately to pick up. Coming at him is Hicks. Zilla does well, gets the hand pass away. It was too quick for his teammate. In comes Tobias. Over the top he goes now to Zilla again. This is Stephen. Long kick toward Taylor. At the back, no mark taken by Windsor. He was under enormous pressure there from Taylor. They've done a pretty good job on Taylor so far. It's been 2 against 1, and there'll be a throw in left forward pocket.
It's a good tough player, John Abbott. He loves it in close and he loves it tough. 10.5 minutes into the first term, already some very good possessions from him. Taylor is well blanketed, and in the absence of some of those big men, he has to do the rucking work in the forward line.
And the Dogs, they almost lost the opportunity for this Foundation Cup Grand Final with their loss to North in Port Pirie, but they bounced back with a big one on the weekend. And they defeated South. They crushed them by 92 points. And would Port Adelaide be ruining their opportunity? They got done here at Football Park a week and a half ago by West Adelaide after having led by 61 points. And failed to make an appearance tonight. Out of trouble almost, but it's stolen by Freeborn. As cool as you like, he punches it and he wanted Taylor. Too far for him. Good work, the Dogs. Potter to Windsor, and this is Stevens. Pays with him. Harassment, one-on-one. You won't see a better clash. And the umpire did it well, he let it go. Hicks, short. Cook, got it onto McKinnon. High, and again in front is Rogers. He took the building over the head, took front position, or is that Nickel? See them as we get up.
It's Stuart Nickel, and called it well. 3 entries inside of half forward for Central District, and each and every time an Eagles defender's been in front. And quite rightly, far side, Scott Stevens, magnificent work.
So 11 minutes in, both teams goalless, and the first goal might have a bit of an impact on confidence as Pesh tears forward again. They look good, the Eagles, as they go forward. Players to ground, in particular, was Arnold. Oh, they work it out brilliantly, the Dogs, and they're out of trouble again. McGowan, he gets into space, doesn't he, all the time. He's got squirt, but he chooses the left himself. And he puts it beautifully to find Huey Remus.
Kick a goal. Doing well in defence. They're not panicking, are they?
Oh, cool as you like. And they're playing with a lot of confidence, the Dogs.
So doing it well back there. They're working back with their followers. Potter and the like are getting back, providing some extra numbers and playing it nice and cool.
12, 6 and 4 goals last week. He's opened up well. The Dogs get the first one. We're 13 minutes into the first quarter, and the Dogs lead by 4 points.
Central District opted not to play Grant Coffey after they were belted in Port Pirie by North Adelaide. They dropped in for a game that was such an important one for them against South Adelaide, and then they promptly came out and won the game by 89 points. They've elected now to start with Reimers at full forward. It's not a bad option. He's competitive, he marks strongly, and he's usually a very accurate kick.
Central District to 1 goal, the Eagles 2 points. And we've played 13 minutes of the 1994 Foundation Cup Grand Final. First time ever Central District have made a grand final, and the Eagles have been there twice before. They won this last year against Port, and they won the day grand final against Norwood. Shock loss last week against West Adelaide. Here's Abbott now from centre wing, chips toward right half forward. They've got a chance here. This is Ingerson wheeling and dealing around Rogers. Clever kick. Oh, they've got a big chance here now, Central District. This is Schwert. He's 45 metres out, and he has almost kicked a goal. Nickel getting back. It's a behind. Big build-up. Great piece of work by Anthony Ingerson, wasn't it? Because Taylor's no slouch. He just sweated off. Andrew Rogers playing a centre-half back, but Ingerson snared it beautifully. One clean take and wheeled around. Then to have the presence to find Schwert. Unfortunately, just didn't quite come off.
7 points to 2, a 5-point lead early in the game. So that'll do the confidence of the young Central side a lot of good. They're playing against league leaders. Jason Zilla got it out to Morfitt. He was well tackled though. Holding on was the call. And the free kick, Morfitt pays now. They've got the run. Plenty of skill pays. He just pops it up. Watch for Taylor. 2 grabs. Play on. Touched. Good call. Stephen Zilla. Bang! Hit the post. Good footy
Bang indeed, right onto the post. Looked like it was coming back, didn't it? He did everything right by popping it up there because that breeze, as I said, was coming from left to right, and it is very strong. Sat it up there beautifully. Didn't quite come back far enough.
So Ray Windsor from the northern end of the ground. 15 minutes gone, first quarter of the grand final. Long kick. Hereda takes a very strong mark at half back in opposition to Kennedy. Brian Hereda, long kick toward the wing. Remus, who's already taken a big grab. Free kick against Remus, and it's going to the Eagles. It'll go to Freeborn. Far side of the ground, centre wing. Glenn Freeborn, the 21-year-old, directs play to the right half forward flank. Taylor comes out, couldn't take the mark. It just slipped between his hands, kicks off the ground. Tobias running onto the football, and Tobias kicks the goal. Great work. Brilliantly read. First goal for the Eagles. They're 1-3. They've hit the front. Central are 1-1.
It's a great piece of roving work from Tobias. He's active early, 3 kicks and 2 handballs so far. Look at that, snuck inside of David Green, who's picking him up. Jagged it around the body, and it's an important goal for them because whilst they'd had plenty of entries inside of their forward line, they just weren't getting the return.
The Eagles, 1 goal, 3, 9 points. They lead the Dogs 1-1-7. Halfway through this first quarter, Kennedy, his entree through the centre is good. He weaves and ducks, gets his kick away, and getting back underneath it is that man again. He's playing well, Johnny Abbott. Chips across, dangerous, but gets away with it. Hereda. Abbott's had 4 kicks, no handballs, been active as well. Nicely kept in by Wakeland. No pressure at all there, was there? Stevens he wants, can't. And in the back of...
Well, yes, in the back, but they were very, very lucky because the kick was a very ordinary one, set him up no end.
Too right it did, and put him under all sorts of pressure. Sean Hannam's kick, not much better going the other way. Stevens again, knocks up getting possessions and does it pretty well. Through the legs, clean ball, Morford. Ingerson off the ground. This is a chance for the Dogs. Swirt! He kicked 6 last week. He'll need a heck of a good bounce from there, though, won't he?
He'll need out of bounds. He'll need a Shane Warne.
Absolutely.
He'd need a miracle, but quite rightly, 6 goals last week, quite outstanding, and a real threat in front of goals. He made his name, of course, as a half-back flanker, but he can kick the big ones.
Eagles by 2 points. It's up in the attacking zone for Central District. Can they make something out of this? Through Zilla's hands, picked up by Reimers. Clever hand pass. Now Girdham, a high kick to the goal square. Nickel, oh gee, lost sight of it. Then had a second bite and took it in the end, but it was a critical one. Kicks it to Hannam on the half-back flank on the far side of the ground. He goes for a run and has 2 bounces, looking for someone to give it off to. Eventually goes very long. Up goes Wakeland, and Wakeland's taken the mark on his chest, and he'll bang this back in for Central.
Defences from both sides are playing themselves in front, giving themselves the best chance. It's one of the reasons that we've only got 2 goals on the board 18 minutes in for the first turn.
So the Dogs, they go over that or into their forward line once again. Hannam, slick. Schwarz works hard. No help though. The numbers of the Dogs, and they'll win the contest. Hanley. Finally they even up the numbers, the Eagles, but just a little bit too late.
Don't forget, of course, the prize money tonight, $17,500 for the winner. It's worth winning, isn't it? And for getting into the grand final, $10,000 for second place.
Remembering that these teams have, by being first and second, have obviously had wins on the way in, so they've probably already pocketed maybe 1 or 2 checks. And so if you get away with a couple of wins during the rounds and you win this one tonight, 16,000, it makes a pretty good check for local footy clubs. This is Zilla. Jason tight, Morford. A runner who can cross a line and usually kicks very accurately, not on that occasion. And Kennedy is in the back of, on that occasion, Arnold plays on. Abbott, left foot high. Stevens is there, he's got the sit. He's got Girdham in front of him and he wants him. The run, the hands weren't good enough there, but he got it back, Stevens. Or Girdham, I should say. And playing in front and playing very well is Sean Hannam. And he's one of the best 4 and 2, Steve.
Just an example of playing in front and the advantages in it. With the breeze not really favouring either end. Look at that for an ordinary kick. With the breeze not favouring either end, really is important just to play in front, give yourself the best access.
Glenn Freeborn now kicks beyond the wing, looking for Tobias down there on the half-forward flank. Green is with him. He's not far away. He's breathing down his neck. Good crowd. Eagles supporters there, just a little nervous in the early stages. No doubt perhaps just a little cold as well. Conditions cool. No sign of rain though. Just a little windy. And we're into time on. 20-minute quarters. Plus time on. That's where we are at the moment. Big Nickel. As we've mentioned, Negri not playing tonight. He's injured. So too is Neiman. And also Alan Schwartz out. Close to the boundary line. Reimers got pulled over the shoulder. Ingerson barges his way through, but it's got to go back. And it's going back to Big Hugh Reimers. Here he goes. Oh, what a terrible kick, Hugh. That was not good. And Hannum's got the footy now. They turn it around up toward Taylor territory in front, knocked away by Windsor again, who's doing pretty well down there. Taylor somehow gets it. Now Zilla. This is Jason. High kick, looking for Kluzak in front. Over the top of him was Wakeland. Potter didn't panic again. They're doing pretty well in defence, the Central District side. It's bouncing into the forward pocket and out of bounds.
Absolutely perfect. Potter's working back well. He's providing some extra support in numbers, as you quite rightly say. He just doesn't panic, stays nice and cool. And I know from boundary side that he uses plenty of voice at the same time.
Just got a feeling the Eagles are just a little bit unbalanced through that forward line. If you remember back a few weeks where they had Neiman, Taylor, Filippo, Kluzak, they really had a good run of people through centre-half forward. Shaki's not playing in the seniors at the moment, and Nickel, as we know, is at centre-half back. And particularly with the absence of Filippo, they just look a little bit unbalanced. That'll be in favour of Central. Forward they go, and defending well the Dogs as Swirt takes the short one. He again goes short and does it very confidently through the centre of the ground. This is Marty McKinnon. They've got some left footers in their side, haven't they? They've switched the play and done it pretty well. Hicks, well, that's not Hicks. In fact, that is Michael Wakeland. His kick is good, and he finds Girdham. Number 10, the skipper. He's had 3 and 5. He's getting plenty of touches. Sean Hannum under pressure. Ingerson, spear to ground. A charge. Cook, left foot. And in close. Good contest. And doing it pretty well was Devine. Mark Devine, as the first quarter comes to a halt at Footy Park. The margin, 2 points. The Eagles now, they're 2-4-16. They lead by 9 points over the Dogs. Let's have a look at this in slow-mo. Taylor. He's been well held so far, Steve, but on that occasion, too strong in the air.
Certainly been well held. The defences from both sides are on top, as would be indicated by 2 goals to the Eagles and only 1 to Central, 2-4 to 1-1. Both sides tended to play in front. There's a strong breeze at Football Park tonight, but I can tell you that it's blowing exactly across the ground, one side to the other, from the grandstand side to the far side.
Early minutes in this second quarter here in the Foundation Cup. It's a fantastic night here at Football Park, and the contest had opened up very aggressively in the first quarter, and it looks like just going on like that. Potter sends the Dogs forward. Ingerson pushed out of the way. Finally Hannum, he's done a good job in defence. Zilla, Jason gets it forward, and Morfitt takes it. Doing pretty well, Morfitt, to date. Stephen Zilla doing pretty well also. He's had 5 and 2, and the ball beats everybody out of bounds. The Dogs, well, they've been in the competition for 30 years. They haven't won a flag. And on the other hand, the old West Torrens had won 4. The new Eagles have won 2. The Foundation Cup in 93 and the SANFL Grand Final in 93. This is their 3rd Grand Final in 2 years. Winter's done a pretty good job.
No doubt about that. And if it looks like a sea of blue out there, you're quite right. Those Guernseys are very hard to pick from a wide angle. That's one of the reasons that Central District sought some weeks ago to get the Eagles jumper changed, and the result of that is a gold set of numbers on the back of the jumpers. Good mark by Ingerson, and a gold band on the bottom of the jumpers if they come out.
Eagles lead by 9 points. Stevens gets on with it now for Central District. At the back is Reimers. Couldn't control the mark. Well done by Spear. He read that quite superbly. Kicks to Morfitt territory on the far side, and Scotty Morfitt. Well, he stretched every sinew there in his body, and he took a good mark, a diving mark from Scotty Morfitt, far side of the ground. Taking plenty of time. There's the kick up toward left half forward. Hereda. Good strong mark taken by the defender. And he'll just go a short one. And does. Schwert, one of the fittest players in the local competition, is on the Crows list. Kicks to midfield. Anthony Ingerson, another man on the Crows list. Knocked away by Stevens. Only into the waiting arms there of Rogers. Rogers with a high kick up to right half forward. Down there is McKinnon. He's outnumbered at the moment, but he's done very well. And McKinnon, superb work. Kicks out into the open spaces now. Can Central District mount something? No, it's out of bounds before Hicks could get there.
Coach Alan Stewart a little pensive. The Central District rooms before the game were considerably on edge. However, just down the hallway, the Eagles' rooms were cool and calm despite the fact that they'd lost 3 key players. Negri's out, Schwartz is out, Alan Schwartz, and David Neiman.
So they've had to go in with a smaller profile, but it's still a substantial profile. Good take on that occasion by Rowan Thorne. He puts it in long, beautifully read though by Windsor. He got back and took it pretty easy. This is Ray Windsor. He has players everywhere, chooses to go short, and Damien Arnold goes on quickly. Schwert had 20 kicks, 1 handball, 6 goals in the game against South Adelaide Oval on the weekend, and he's piling up stats here tonight. He's had 5 and 2. Ball to ground, loose ball, Green. He's tough at the foot, he always is. On the ground, doing it pretty well tonight is Stephen Zilla. They go forward again. Schwartz, the skipper, puts it up high. Watch for Taylor, he likes these. Keeps it on the ground. That's well done by Windsor. Holding the ball, the crowd yell. The umpire won't have any of it. First to it was Kennedy. He's playing at centre half forward tonight. And coming away with it again is Marty McKinnon. He's having a blinder.
Yes, he's playing very well. Kicks to McGowan. McGowan over the top. Now sending Reimers away. Reimers, oh, he was just a bit slow there. Pay's got him. Over the top goes Ingerson. Into the path of McGowan again. McGowan, a chip pass. Inside 50. Outstorms Richardson. Here's Handley. And Handley has missed. He's missed everything. He's out of bounds on the full.
Something of a mixed bag from Richardson there. When he led, he cut the leg of the player with the ball streaming down that grandstand side off. Then the take was magnificent, and the give was very good as well. Unfortunately, Robert Handley couldn't quite finish it off. And another example at the other end of the ground where numbers, Neville, are getting back and picking up and providing some rebound. It's all working for the defences at the moment.
Yes, they are doing the work. The Eagles, they lost their first game for the season on Saturday against West Adelaide. The Giant Killers at the moment by 32 points. Out of bounds on the full. The Dogs will take that just backward of centre. And that ended a 14-game unbeaten run, going back as far as last season, of course, when they won the premiership. So They haven't tasted much defeat, the Eagles. In Central, they had a bad one in Port Pirie a fortnight ago. They were terrific on the weekend to demolish South and won this position in the Foundation Cup. Bodies in, Girdham is there, Totham, Chance, Messi, and we certainly have a ball up centre field, and it's the Eagles by 9 points.
Don't forget, of course, that these quarters are just 20 minutes plus time on. It's a Foundation Cup fixture for which there's been one game allocated through the first 9 rounds, and it's a shorter game than usual, so we'll finish a bit earlier.
Eagles lead by 9 points. Zilla gets it to his brother. It was Jason to Stephen. Long kick. Arnold lumbers after it. Controls it well for a big man. Did very, very well. Then boots it toward right half forward. Big pack into the air. Chance now for the Zillas again. They're combining superbly now. Totham. Finally, Totham kicks towards centre half forward. Taylor on a lead. Over his head and Ray Windsor. Coming in late was Pesh. Well done by Hicks. Then in the end he lost it. Chance for Pays, and Pays has missed everything. This time to the southern end. It's out of bounds on the full.
Andrew Pays is playing on centre wing, so too is Stephen Zilla. Interestingly though, just after the first bounce, they switched sides so that Pays could pick up Stevens and Zilla could pick up the lanky Damien Hicks. Bit of a mismatch in terms of height, but obviously Bruce Winter saw it as a better match.
Opportunity for Pays. He's a big kick getter, he always is. He had 19 and 10 last week against West Adelaide. Taylor missed the lot. Chance for Kluzak. Off the ground for him. Abbott. And McGowan. 22 handballs last week. He is a star, this boy in the centre. Ingerson wants to get it through quickly. He's got the runners and it's through Stevens. If it sits, he's under pressure. They've got the numbers though. This is Girdham, the skipper. Clever, Stevens. Cool, didn't panic. Puts it through half forward. Opportunity squirt. It was missed completely with the handball. Nickel and the Eagles, they're pretty cool in defence. Freeborn comes down this grandstand side and the kick is an absolute gem to find Kennedy. You wouldn't want anything better than that on the lead. He's at centre wing and just puts it up high. Taylor late, he's got a clear run. Can't take it, ball to ground. And they mop up in defence, and they've done it pretty well all night, Mark.
Having a good look at it, Taylor, isn't he? He just can't hold the marks. He's kicked a goal, though. So here's Roger Girdham, one of the most honest players you'll find in the local competition. Kicks to left half forward, but Big Nickel has just used the telescopic arms to advantage and taken a big mark in front of Schwert. Bit of difference in height there. Nickel right half forward, through most players' legs. Chance now for Zilla, gets it to Pays, Pays to Totham. They're working it forward gradually. Kick into the forward pocket, a little indirect there for Kluzak. Out of bounds, and stay with us at half time. Prize money, $17,500 for the winner, $10,000 for the runner-up. Stay with us at half-time. We've got some of the best marks and goals for 1994.
Throw in half forward for the Eagles. Pesh, almost. McKinnon was the player that tackled him. He's been very good in defence tonight. Girdham too high on that play. Callers play on. A chance now. Hicks. Pays has got him. Too high on that play. Play on. Unlucky. The Dogs, they should have got the last two. McKinnon. McGowan dispossessed by Rogers. Clever. Holding the ball would be just a little bit tough on them.
Agreed. And the temper's just starting to flare a bit, but it is good umpiring because they're just letting it go. And in keeping with the final, bounce it down and get on with it. The run of the game has been very good.
And Freeborn stretches out on that left boot. It's a terrible kick. Didn't like it much at all himself, I don't think. Morford, clever. Caught is Stephen Zilla. Gets rid of it. Tobias, beat in everything. To ground, Jason Zilla. Tobias. Stevens has got him. The tackling's good. The body pressure's good. It's a great game of footy. To ground they go. Who thought? He usually does the impossible. He can't this time. And he is out of bounds on the foot.
The Eagles have just made a change. Sean Hannam has come off of the ground and Sean Ballins has come on for his first game, number 22. I suspect very strongly that that's because on the far side, Hannam didn't attack the ball with quite the fervour that Bruce Winter would have liked. And as a consequence, he's off of the deck.
Eagles lead by 9 points. This is Rogers, and Rogers from centre wing. An awkward kick to Taylor territory. He's harassing his opponent. Well done though by Girdham. Received the hand pass from Wakeland. And there's a free kick for over the shoulder. It's going Central District's way. This is Roger Girdham getting up.
Just a little bit too high. Quick take. And Girdham's tough. It won't hurt him.
Here's Ray Windsor now, running the ball away from the dangerous half-back area. Kicks toward Schwert over on the far side. It just runs behind all players and goes out of bounds. Far side of the ground, that's the eastern wing. You're watching this on ABC TV Sport, live from Football Park, the grand final of the Foundation Cup. The defending champions, the Eagles, up against Central District, who have never played in a grand final before.
And won't they enjoy that? Notice that in this morning's press, Alan Stewart, the coach of the Dogs, said they just got to stand up and be counted. Unless you win a flag, you've got to take what people say about you. Free kick the Dogs, 30 from goal.
Andrew Rogers not happy about it. He's lined up at centre half back. Well, there wasn't much in that one, given that the run of the play has been let go fairly much. To pluck that one out to Robert Hanley. That was a little bit picky. Nonetheless, has given Hanley a chance from around about 40 metres. Quiet start to the game, just his second kick.
You saw the first one, it was out on the full. Can he do any better with this one? It'll go close, but it's a little offline. In fact, it's offline to the left, and he would be disappointed with that.
Both sides just missing a bit through half forward at the moment. Hanley needs to lift through that area. Ingerson's done a little bit at centre half forward. At the other end of the ground, the Eagles have got Kennedy playing at centre half forward, which is an interesting move in the absence perhaps of some of those other tools. So both sides just being let down in that area a little at the moment.
Eagles lead by just 8 points. And the Eagles now running it away. Long kick by Nickel. Over on the far side was Kennedy. Now they've got a chance here. This is Green. Central District now banging it back up toward right half forward. Nickel is in the middle of about 3 or 4 players. Arnold is there for Central District. And there'll be a ball up, far side.
It's a crucial part of the game. Bruce Winter, the coach of the Eagles, must think this way too. 16 points. They lead by 8. If they get the next goal, they really are motoring. On the other hand, if the Dogs get it, they put pressure back on the Eagles.
15 and a half minutes gone, second quarter. Nick Pesh, long kick. Ray Windsor hit him on the chest. Who's doing such a grand job so far. Him and 2 or 3 other defenders for Central District. Taylor's having his work cut out. Long kick to Potter, one of those players who's doing well in defence. He's not panicking, he's just doing some good work right back in the back pocket region. Long kick, up goes Reimers. He's taken a big mark. Alan Stewart said today that Reimers had to take more marks. He's already taken 2 or 3. Long kick to Richardson. Was he pushed in the back? The umpire didn't seem to think so. Girdham, very good tackle there by Rogers, and there'll be a ball up.
The answer was 100% yes. He was pushed out. Girdham was under all sorts of pressure. Magnificent tackle on the end by Rogers to claim it, but just a little bit lucky the Eagles deep in their defence then, because Richardson really got a shove.
And wasn't that a great piece of work by Rogers? What experience does for you. Lucky not to get holding the ball. The Eagles, they combine. That's Thorne. And he's got the runner. Devine looks. Really wanted to give that one away, didn't he? That's Stephen Ziller now. Oh, that's beautifully put. Straight to his brother. They do that by just remote control. Jason Ziller in the picture now. He puts it up high. Taylor in front. Can't take it. And if you like to see some courage, it's right there in front of you, Brian Herrera.
Brian Herrera is in rare form at the moment. That takes a bit of courage to stand in front with Taylor burning down on you like that. Windsor's started well also at full back, so Taylor's got his hands full at full forward even.
Schwert to Abbott is good on the left footer, puts it up high again, but they're not having a lot of luck through half forward. Devine with the punch. He got it away nicely. Through strongly was Pesh. And this is Cook. Chip. Beautiful vision. Frank Stevens, 30 from goal. Potter, in fact, was the player that kicked.
Magnificent vision as he came around the corner, and Stevens just lurked down. He loves to do that, get himself inside of half forward. And so far from him, plenty of possession from centre wing. Good kick, 40 metres out.
He'd love to kick this. He puts it up high, and it deserved a goal. Unlucky and offline. But I think with credit where it's due, it was, I think, Cook that got it to him, and it was a good piece of footy. Stevens made possession, and they've got to finish those, Steve.
No doubt about it. They've had a few opportunities. They're in a position where they just have to kick them when they get inside of 50 like that.
Here's Spear to the far side of the ground. Rogers up in front. Stevens hustling and bustling again. Gives it to Schwert inside 50. Outstorms Richardson again. Gurdon. Well done. The captain's in trouble though. Richardson holding the ball. Gurdon caught holding the ball.
Didn't have long, did he? Had another one at the other end of the ground in the first quarter, Roger Gurdon, where it was just like lightning.
Yes, it's quick footy at the moment, isn't it? Just no time at all. Spears demanding that somebody give him something to kick to. In games like this, the pressure just stays on all the time. Players have to keep and maintain the work. Pesh in trouble, slips the tackles. Inside he goes and he finds Stephen Ziller. Always has a good eye, puts it in high. Behind was Harada. Kennedy took front spot. This is Swirt, puts it down. That's holding the ball, surely. Totham, Kennedy and Tobias. Forward they go, the Eagles. The kick is pretty good, but it's well spoiled on that occasion by Wakeland. The Eagles, 20 from goal, Windsor by himself, and has a week to do what he likes. Swirt, or I should say Marty McKinnon, they're all left footers. That's about all they have in common. The ball's to ground. Now this is Potter, over the ball, has a look, has a couple of options, takes the worst of them, goes to Reimers. Kluzak did beautifully. Oh, Pesh, savage by Gurdon. Potter caught. Players go to ground. Got a ball game on our hands here at Footy Park.
Magnificent tackle by Roger, wasn't it? Look at that, tough in at the body, and Pesh will know that he's been tackled there. Of course, these two sides are two of the toughest physical sides. It's been well documented. An average a couple of weeks ago for the Eagles of 34 tackles a game, and for Central at 31, equals second with Port Adelaide.
Into time on now, second quarter, 7 points the margin. The Eagles lead. Chance for Kluzak. Sweeps the hand pass to the dangerous Pays. Infield he goes now to Ziller. And Ziller about 65 metres out. Windsor at the back. Or almost. Oh, he's Taylor off the ground and out of bounds on the full. Well, he didn't get it then, Windsor, but geez, having a blinder, isn't he?
Oh, he's been a big player tonight. Taylor copying Ablett and Modra.
What's that mean?
Kicking off the ground. It's just become a trend in football in Australia in the last couple of years.
That one was fairly ambitious. Talk about Ray Windsor. We saw him at Port Pirie have a dreadful day. Went from full back to full forward and just couldn't get amongst it. Apparently last week against South Adelaide, however, was quite outstanding. And again tonight, 8 kicks, 3 handballs and a couple of good marks from fullback.
7 points separate the two sides. It's a beauty here at Footy Park. It's a great night. It's Foundation Cup Grand Final. The reigning premiers, the Eagles, and the Cupless Dogs. Can they get up for their first ever? Kennedy in the ruck. He's caught Arnold. He does so much of that work and he does it so well. And he has earned, or given this on this occasion, the free kick. Kennedy outside of 50. He'll be looking for Taylor. Morford's out early. There's some space. Harada's in it. Taylor will have to jump the both of them. He did it almost. 2-3 off the ground. Not quite. And Wakeland will see it over the line for 1 point.
Central District are using Brian Harada very intelligently. He's the player that's dropping back and helping out at fullback on Taylor. And the rucking duo are working back through centre-half back, so it's working well for Alan Stewart at the moment. It's good thinking.
And you really do need the big fellas to get back there to lend a hand, take out the spaces, and that'll make Taylor's job just so much harder. He's the only gun up there. They haven't got Philippo, and they haven't got Neiman either up there, and that's always been a three-pronged attack for them. And I feel that they're a little bit underdone in their forward land for strike forward area for strike power, and that'll certainly help Central as the half-time siren sounds here at Football Park, and the margin is 8 points.
Good maths, 2-5 to 1-3. The Eagles just the only goal for the quarter. Thank you, Mark. The umpire holding the ball aloft to get things moving is Tim Pfeiffer. Michael Abbott is his partner. Potter being manned up in the centre. He was particularly damaging through the first half. From the left of screen is Arnold. From the right it's Nicol, who's been swung into the ruck to try and give them some drive. Schwarz first there, couldn't do anything decisive with the ball. Hands and knees work in there. Totham fires out the reflexes, very good. Ziller. Kennedy, a little bit of time, gets some run to the northern end of the ground. Good looking pass, Taylor. Play on, the umpire said it was touched. Wheels around on the left leg, but doesn't come back far enough. That breeze on the boundary side is still swirling around, and it's still coming from over the grandstand from left to right as Taylor saw the goals.
And tell us, Steve, a tip.
Well, I'm a bit like Lee Wicker. I'm not sure I can pick it from here, but I might go for what people would consider a bit of a roughie at the moment. I think Central have an enormous desire at the moment. It might see them through.
Okay, well, it'll be an even clash. There's Taylor, head down. And he's going for possession, but it beats Potter over the line. So, minutes into the third quarter, 2-6 the Eagles. The Dogs are 1-3, so only 3 goals scored here at Football Park in a half of football, in a grand final. Quite unusual, isn't it? Totham, great handball, finds Zilla into the open goal, but it's touched. So, a disappointed Eagles fan and a more disappointed Jason Zilla.
He's emerged, of course, as one of the Eagles' very best players. He's come out of Stephen's shadow, in a sense. Jack Odie medalist last year was Stephen, but he's lining up on centre wing. And brother Jason is starting the roving duties. Great take by Reimers.
Eagles lead by 10 points. Reimers now from the half-back flank up toward the wing on the far side. Rogers, one of the favourites for the Magarey medal. Here's Freeborn. Back he goes to Rogers. Over the top. Chance now for number 22 for the Eagles as Sean Ballon's playing in his first game. Free kick sorted out. And it's going to go Central District's way. Roger Girdham, their captain, kicks to the wing on the far side. Schwartz couldn't control it. Rogers likewise. Opportunity now for Nickel. Short one, past Reimers. Well done though by John Abbott. Freeborn and also Girdham out of bounds.
And Freeborn isn't he a player that's emerged for the Eagles. 7-5 to date tonight, and what a handy defender. Ingerson, Nickel finally Schwarz, gets his hand to it. Pesh can do nothing. Players to ground, that Swert, play on, pays. Pushes the Eagles forward again, but in the way, and doing it pretty well is Damien Arnold. Kennedy with him, and the big fella, he's pretty athletic, isn't he?
Certainly is. He can get up, and that he can play in the ruck takes an enormous burden off of Central. They can put Ingerson to centre half forward. Makes an enormous difference to their balance.
Well, and I agree with you there. That's a very, very good point, because for so long they've been trying to make a little bit too much of Ingerson, haven't they? And they need to clone him. Maybe they have. As Stevens tears forward. Oh, the kick. He had every opportunity, but he fluffed it. And at the back of the pack, lurking was Richardson, and he should have got it to him.
It's amazing how much we're seeing of this, isn't it? The defenders are leading the attacking players to the ball, and it's as a result of 3 goals, as you say, on the board so far. It's amazing.
Eagles lead by 10 points. Green attacks the ball and it's out of bounds.
I guess that comes with confidence and experience though, doesn't it? Just to not worry so much about your opponent, but read the flight of the ball.
Well, they're attacking the ball, and as you saw there, Spear was 10 or 15 metres in front of his opponent.
3.5 minutes, third quarter. Girdham at the back and off the ball, getting tripped over. Here's Tobias. Girdham, Roger Girdham, that was very good.
Super tackle.
Very valuable, aren't they? Turned the ball over. Tobias looked for all money to be away. Wonderful tackle.
Dangerous sortie forward now. Here's Rogers. Well, gee whiz, he is playing very well, isn't he? He's a wonderful player, Rogers. Very experienced. Kluzak, Totham, half-back, and now transfers play straight down the corridor. Long kick. At the back is Abbott. Good mark up in front, taken by Kennedy. And Kennedy's about 60 out. Little chip out wide to Freeborn. Just couldn't take it on the first grab. As a result, he was just held up, but he got the hand pass away. Ballons over the top he goes, pays, right forward pocket. Nothing much coming out of this. They're really struggling. Here's Morfitt round the corner. Can Taylor take a big mark? No, he can't. He was besieged there. Here's McKinnon, and McKinnon was clearly tripped and will get a free kick in the back pocket.
Indeed he will. He's been a good player tonight, Marty McKinnon, hasn't he? 8 and 7 to Cook. Little left footer. Number 6 puts it up high. Ingerson. Before invitations, Rogers read well. And short. Totham. Badly put. Under pressure. Off the ground go the Eagles. There are a chance it's a loose ball. Morfitt stays close to it. He's outplayed by Arnold. The big fella Tobias in to help. It's a loose ball. Players converge. Kennedy goes out the back door. Around the corner, Kluzak. The kick was poor to Stephen Zilla. Thorne, cleverly, but not clever enough. Held, free kick. Bulldust, says Taylor, and that won't do you any good at all, son. You like that?
What did he say?
Bulldust. Have a look at him. Here he goes.
Again, the advantage of being first to the ball, isn't it? Give yourself the best chance of the ball and the best chance of the free kick as well.
Windsor. He's having a big night out, isn't he? Look at him, just going and going and going. Just might have held on to that a little late. That was an interesting effort. One of my kicks.
Not that good.
No, Herrera got it back, couldn't believe it. Got it from Rogers. Now McKinnon onto the wing. Chance for the Eagles again. Here's Zilla, caught, slung off the football. Schwert. Can they set something up here? McKinnon back to Schwert, both with long sleeve Guernseys, as you can clearly see. Good kick. And it hit his skipper on the chest. That was good. And back to McKinnon. Good sortie forward, this one. Long one, well inside 50. You look at Richardson storm out. Big chance now for them as Timothy Cook goes long and strong. But it's, unfortunately for Central District supporters, offline, out of bounds, left forward pocket.
And the value of being able to kick straight. Don't forget Saturday, Norwood take on the Bays at Norwood, 4:15 live, and then at 5:30 the footy show. Make sure you join us. In the pocket, I was going to say earlier, just the value of Cook not being able to get the ball accurately over 20 metres on the left foot. They could have been having a shot for goal. They turn possession back.
Funny old final, isn't it? Just 3 goals scored so far.
But it's probably indicative of the just the aggression and the. I think if there's anything come out of this as far as Central are concerned, is that the game plan is obviously for numbers, for pressure, aggression, tackling at the body, and it's worked well for them.
Do you think something will break?
Well, not if you don't drop that coke over there.
There's no doubt that side that can get a couple of goals break in this game will blow it wide open. Central District were apprehensive at the start. Despite the fact they can't get their noses in front at the moment, I still feel as though their balance is pretty good.
Swars clears. Kennedy's underneath it. He'll try and stop it before it goes out of bounds. Cleverly left it behind. And the boundary umpire closes on him. Pays encourages him. He hasn't been too bad at half forward.
It's also fair to say that despite that nervousness before the game, there was a genuine feeling amongst the Bulldogs that they really felt that the Eagles could be beaten. That was a nice throw out the back door, wasn't the umpire seen it? They genuinely felt they could be beaten. I think that was by virtue most of the fact that West Adelaide, that's just a little flick pass, it's not bad, that West Adelaide knocked over the reigning premier on Saturday.
Yes, and that's, they're no longer unbeatable. Not that they ever were, of course, but certainly given the Dogs some confidence, and they know just to stay out of it. There's another throw, and that too was seen
by everyone.
And the Eagles aren't happy with it. If we've got that, and we have, let's have a look. Watch his hands. Well, it's quicker than I can see. Throw. And with the footy is Hanley. Short. Oh, great courage to get back there. And he did it pretty well. That's Ballins. And with the footy now is Stephen Zilla. Great smother hit.
What a big occasion for Ballins. First game, this was a great smother, wasn't it?
A number of players in their first game, 3 for Central District and 1 for the Eagles. It's a big night out for them. But what value those 1%ers, the smothers, the tackles and so forth. Central District, one of the very best sides at it.
Still 10 points in it, would you believe? 2-7 to 1-3, the Eagles lead. And you're watching this Foundation Cup Grand Final right around the state. Good crowd, good conditions, no rain. 9 minutes, third quarter. It's the reigning champions up against Central District, who have never played in a grand final before. Here's Schwert over the top, looking for McGowan in the back. And this very good centreman will shoot from about 45 metres.
He is a very good centreman. He sits himself across the middle of the ground well, and when Central District come out of defence, they will regularly use him. And just on the odd occasion gets a little foray into the forward lines as well. And it's a good, courageous mark. And if you can finish this one off, it's very important for Central.
Had a great season, hasn't he? There's the kick from about 45 metres, and the umpire has a good look at it and then indicates that it's a behind. So it's 1-4-10. They creep closer. The Eagles are 2-7-19. The margin 9 points.
And one of the interesting statistics to glean from this game is that to date Central District have 20 free kicks. The Eagles have just 9, and that includes 7 straight this quarter for Central District.
So they're doing something right, aren't they? Getting in front first to the footy, and this is Arnold. He puts it back in high. Wouldn't they love someone to take a catch? He tried pretty hard. Who was that? Hicks went high and a little early. Spear, cool as you like. Have a look at this. Up the daisy. Bit early though. Would have been nice if he'd come down with it. Ablett style. This is Rogers. Has a look. Not much offering. Goes straight down the ground. Kennedy underneath it. With him, Herrera. He's been there all night and he's done a terrific job. Potter caught. Tobias, good tackle. and he'll get the free kick. Well done, son. Quickly on is the call. He goes out wide. They're trying to get something happening through half forward. Pays is there. He's covered by Dogs. Stevens goes backwards to Abbott. He's good on the left boot. He's got all the vision ahead of him. Swirt in space. He's always in space. Has a bounce. He's quick and he's a big possession getter. Bad decision, son. Go back. That's it. On his left. And high. Made hard work of it to Cook, who makes even harder work of it. Play on.
They got a free kick in the end. I beg to differ. Stephen Swirt lifted the eyes. There wasn't a thing ahead of him at centre half forward. All he had was Andrew Rogers. The decision to hold was good.
Fair enough. I was taking it off the monitor and looking downfield, Steve. You've obviously picked that up. So he held on to the footy. He's good enough to get away with it. Chance for Green. He gets a quick ball in, but it's out of bounds. No time at all to do anything.
It was just to pursue that point. An easy thing from the television, of course. Wrong decision. Go back. Looked awkward. Got himself wrong. If he'd kicked that football, the Eagles would have turned it over. They then had space behind Schwert. Could have been very dangerous. Not a bad decision at all.
Good point. That's why we have experts like you here, Steve. And a ball up in the forward line.
Do you have to say it with a smirk on your face like that?
Not at all. It was a good point because at home you wouldn't have been able to pick what was ahead of him.
And talking about Central District 12 minutes into this third term, how's their last 4 or 5 weeks been? This game's close. There's just 9 points in it. They've been involved in an 89-point thrashing of South Adelaide last week. They lost the week before by 86 points.
Reimer's a chance. We'll just interrupt you there because Hanley's going to kick a goal if he can get around. Held. No free kick. Hard work. Cook in high. Chance and spear. Continue on, Steve.
I'll just finish that off. The week before they lost by 86 points to North Adelaide at Port Pirie. The week before they beat Sturt by 90 and the week before they beat West by 88. So they're not involved in too many close games, are
Big
they?
margins, aren't they? Stuart Nicol relieves the pressure.
Nicol kicks toward half-back, finds Kennedy, who cops one a little high there around the face region. And he's going to get a free kick on the half-back flank for the Eagles.
Gee whiz.
It's a solid knock, wasn't it?
He's okay, but that's a shade lucky. Just might be a bit dazed there. So Mark Kennedy, who captained the reserve side into the grand final, a successful win for them last year. In the reserves, big mark over the top taken by Wakeland. So Central District now rebounding from half-back. There's Wakeland's kick. It's a ground covering kick too. At the back was Rogers. Chance for Kennedy again. Zilla in all sorts of trouble. It ricochets to the side. Swirt also in trouble. Good tackle. Pesh gets it to Totham. Totham infield. It only goes as far as Central District's McGowan. He gets it to McKinnon and they rebound superbly now. Over the top of Richardson. Chance for Brian Herrera. And Brian Herrera with a very long kick inside 50. Potter in front. No, it's Cook. He's controlling it okay. He's got a chance. Now they tie him up. And the umpire will ball it up about 40 metres in front of that goal.
Fantastic passage of play, wasn't it? Great pressure from both sides. They're attacking the player with the ball strongly. And there's just not an easy kick to get out there at the moment. Typical of a grand final, I suspect.
Ingerson gets the boot away, but Rogers reads it beautifully. Goes on the left. And pinpoint accuracy, that's where he wanted it. Now, there's been 9 scoring shots for the Eagles, Steve. Only 5 for Central. So the Eagles dominating. Bruce Winter, he'd be worried at the moment, but he's gone in pretty undermanned tonight.
A little bit concerned. Spoke to him before the game. He was as cool as you like, though. A man who smiles and shrugs his shoulders when he says he's missing 3 of his key players is obviously fairly relaxed.
Freeborn, long, and well punched away on that occasion by the other end was Arnold. That's Potter on the boundary line.
Don't forget, the Foundation Cup final tonight. A very handy $17,500 for the winner. $10,000 for the runner-up, which would be much appreciated by the clubs, there's no doubt about that.
Eagles lead by 9 points. Here's Peter Schwarz, who's come back from injury, the captain of the Eagles. Long kick to Taylor. Was he manhandled? The umpire said no, he was not. Here's Morfitt now running into the pocket, getting back as Arnold. He got a hand to it. Good work by the big man. He lumbered after it, put out the big paw and just touched it in time.
Saw Scott Morfitt on Saturday kick a magnificent goal for the Eagles. He kicked 4 in the first term against West Adelaide to set up what seemed to be a lead that wouldn't be pegged back by the Bloods, but it was. Morfitt reasonably quiet tonight.
6 and 5 and no goals, so he's a dangerous player, never out of it. This is Hicks, Damien Hicks. And, he's a very talented player too. Cluzak, body work. Umpire says play on. Reimers, Stevens, he leaves it behind and makes the tackle.
and worked very hard at the second effort.
Great second effort, wasn't it? Let the ball go behind him, but worked back strongly.
Strength.
Great piece of work. The ball was held to him. Good decision.
Bounce down, Kluzak. And Schwirt, a chance, he's in space. On the wrong foot, Richardson against Spear. Oh, no, he's not quite. He's paid him, holding on to McCree. Oh, he nearly did it magnificently just on the catch.
What a magnificent take. Have a look. Held the opponent at bay with one arm and then dragged it back in. Now Macquarie's come back onto the ground, or at least come onto the ground to replace somewhat enigmatic Robert Chopper Hanley, who's gone from the ground playing through half forward. Saw Macquarie in a Foundation Cup game last year in the country, and he was quite sensational, so he's obviously got some ability. Could be a very, very good move by Alan Stewart.
They need this goal to put a bit of pressure on the Eagles. They've been in their forward line too many times for no score. In he comes. What's it up? The crowd reckon it's pretty good. The umpire thinks it's pretty good. The Dogs with their second, and they crawl 6 points closer. They only trail by 4.
Well, it's been coming, hasn't it? They've had entry after entry inside of that forward line. I thought the thing that Macquarie had done wrong in the first place was to lead straight down the corridor, because it really cut off Stephen Schwirt's leg. Leading hard down the, perhaps towards us in the grandstand would have been the way to go, but he cut it off a bit. Schwirt did well to drag it back as far as he did, and in the end, well, if the mark wasn't going to be paid, certainly the hold was. He's a very hard man to stand, is Jason Spear. Very athletic, and it was a good piece of work by Macquarie.
Eagles by 4 points, 2-8-20. Central at 2-4-16. Was that the spark to ignite a Bulldog comeback here? It's back in the centre. It's an awkward bounce for a Central District because Nicol got his hand to it first. Umpire says play on. It's very congested. Totham over there trying to do something with it. So too is Schwirt. He's standing over players now. And umpire Tim Pfeiffer will come in and ball it up.
Alan Stewart, in his 4th year as coach of Central District, he's genuine when he says that Central District have to win this game. There's no happiness from his behalf just getting into this game. It's a genuine competitor, and he'd love for Central to win this game for their confidence.
So Schwarz has the footy, got it from Freeborn, and now Pays and kicks to touch. A very experienced player, Andrew Pays. Out of bounds between the wing and the half-forward flank on the far side for the Eagles.
Big chant goes up around the ground. Almost brought a tear to the eye before the first bounce when there was the Centrals around the ground and plenty of supporters in. It was a nice touch.
And incredibly, both these teams have scored, the Eagles about 20 goals a game this year, and the Dogs 17. Both only 2, and we're nearly at the end of the third quarter. Nail-biting and riveting football. Arnold Nicol in ruck. Totham gets it to ground. Pays with an opportunity. Loses the footy, gives it up. McGowan over the top. The runner's good. Forward they go. The crowd scream. They want a dog bark. Up he goes, Macquarie. Can't quite take it. The ball to ground. Rogers there. Bodies in. Tough as you like. Devine. Spear the runner. The Eagles go the other way just as quickly. At the back. Zilla, not quite. Not paid.
He's paid it.
He has paid it in the end, and under pressure, I think, from crowd and players, Jason Zilla. He's at 50.
It's a magnificent kick by Spear. Watch this through halfback. That's what's called a penetrating kick. Carried 60 metres, one take, just.
Taylor, no. Ball over the line. Pressure and more pressure until the players get pretty frustrated. Taylor there. He's only kicked one. That was in the second quarter. And what's he got for the year? He's got about 35 for the year out of 8 games. So he's averaged 4 or 5 a game.
Eagles by 5 points. Ray wins it to the far side. Schwirt, ultra fit. Very good wingman. Between the halfback and his normal spot as the wing. This is Cook. So Central District gradually moving the ball forward. Nicol getting in best position. Put his big telescopic arms up, couldn't control the mark. Zilla gets the hand pass away. Totham, now Pesh running through the wing on the far side. Stevens, oh well done, he really rode the bump superbly there. Here is Schwirt, short chip pass down to Remus territory. Keep going, no. He got himself into all sorts of trouble. A chance now for Central again. Here's Green on the 50-metre line. A high kick, it's all the Eagles though. And getting back and taking a mark as Kluzak, I think that is in defence.
Some of the entries are hard to take, aren't they? Playing at full forward or in a forward pocket. would be nightmarish. I know that there's some pressure through the middle of the ground and through half-back, but geez, some of the entries haven't been very clean or very easy to take.
Harada and Kennedy. Harada wins out. Beautiful smother to Bias, holding the man not so. A chance now for Kennedy, and he pops it up and pops it straight out of bounds on the full, if you like. So, in replay.
Not a bad take off the boot, was it?
Just absolutely sensational. I think the only other time I've seen a player do that was Robert Odie, when he was playing for Norwood many years ago. Around the corner, they're into attack. Reimers is there. To ground go the Eagles. Freeboard, intercepted. Reimers can't. Spear, he's been solid. He's been a good defender tonight. Pays, uses his body and does it well. He wins it 1 out against Stevens on this occasion. What a great contest those two have had on odd occasions tonight. Around the body goes Jason Ziller. He puts it in high. Arnold, spoilt by Taylor. Mop up Windsor. Potter through the centre. Chips short, and McGowan at the back. Beautifully taken. He read it well, didn't panic, went on quickly. A chance now for Cook. Open goal. Oh, he's butchered it. Opportunities in a low-scoring game. Crucial.
Well, he did everything right. Clean take, got himself straightened up, and I thought it was just the right thing to do. And then he spewed it off the side of the boot. It wasn't good at all.
Here's Spear to the far side. Nicol, the big ruckman's taken a mark on his chest. 4 points the difference, 2-9 to 2-5. It is a thriller here at Football Park. There's Nicol's kick at the back as Harada. Also Arnold picks up, and it is three-quarter time here in this grand final at Football Park. The Foundation Cup grand final. Let's check the scores. The Eagles are 2-9-21, Central are 2-5-17, and the margin 4 points.
Here we go, right on cue. Michael Abbott holds it up. And a big roar goes up for the Foundation Cup final. The final quarter, and way up over the top goes Arnold. Does it well. Big pack of players in. Have a look at that for some intensity in the middle of the ground. They work it out with a series of handballs. Jason Ziller on the leg, gets it in short, looking for Freeborn, who's been switched into attack. Thorns there, picks up, wheels around, chips it around the body. Where's Taylor? Not there this time. He was working back into the play. The Central District defence hold up well again, and Harada pushes it to the far side. Into the path there of a player in Richardson, but he can't haul it in. Goes over, so at quarter time, 2 points in it. Half time was 8 points in it. Three-quarter time, just 4 points. The Eagles haven't been headed yet, but Central District, you just sense that their work rate's been good enough to keep them in it, and indeed could get them over the line first.
Morfitt in the long sleeve jumper. He might hold the key also for the Eagles. He's a goal-scoring ruck rover, and can be pretty dynamic when he's faced with goals to score. Girdham around the corner he goes, and at 8 and 9 he's been a reasonable contributor. He's taken 3 marks, and he would love this. It's been 30 years since they joined the competition. Central District, they're cupless and flagless. Can they fix that tonight? Nicol, Ingerson gets the knock. Rogers quickly. In fact, that was Haylock, number 13, and Ballance takes control of the player on the ground. We're at Footy Park. It's live. The Foundation Cup Grand Final. $10,500 to the winner, $7,500 to the loser.
Eagles lead by 4 points. And they have held a lead for most of the game. It's been tight, uncompromising football. And that was a clear illustration of that.
Absolutely, players from both sides are throwing themselves in. Stewie looks on pensively. Andrew Rogers, last one up. I wonder if he could get himself a berth in the June 21st state game versus Western Australia as skipper. Certainly having a wonderful season so far, and a well-decorated player could be. And he will lead the Crow Eaters in that outing here at Football Park.
Eagles are 21, Central are 17, 4 points the margin. Haylock onto the ground for the first time. Good tackle at the back though by the Central District player. They've got a bit of a chance here. It was Richardson who did that good work. Now Ziller away from the half-back position. Kicks towards centre half-back. Oh, big chance here now for Craig Cotter. Long kick by Cotter. And Nicol getting back. Craig Cotter make no mistake, it's not Craig Potter. They're different players. Craig Potter from Salisbury Reserves last year.
Oh, Stevens plays on, belts it back in. What a sensational grab, but he's offline to Rogers. Oh, he just surprises. He can do everything, Stevens. He just has a crack at doing everything. Far side of the ground, we've got Camporelli. Now with Devine. Through centre wing they go. He lifts the eyes, has a look. He's got Kennedy on a lead. Taylor there, big pack. And the ball over the line. And Stevens, have a look at this.
Such a hard worker. He can do the special thing as well. I suspect it's the reason that Bruce Winter switched his wingman earlier in the game to try and shut down Stevens, because he can be such a very, very damaging player.
Just 4 points in it. And Central District through Schwert, go forward, up toward right half forward. Kluzak at the back. Peter Schwarz, the captain of the Eagles, just runs it over the line. If you've just joined us, it's 2-9 the Eagles, 21 Central at 2-5, 17. Three key players pulling out early for the Eagles, Negri, Neiman and also Alan Schwartz. And that has made a difference, there's no doubt about that. Here's Zilla, left half forward, Taylor. Well, he didn't get into the air, Ray Windsor did, and the free kick is going against Windsor. It's going to Taylor. Arnold just throws the footy back to him, so Taylor a long way out from his customary position. And back there is Freeborn at the moment, being checked by Wakeland. So Taylor's a long, long way out. You probably can't see the goals from there. He just goes short to Zilla. This is Jason, and now Jason kicks to right half forward, but the mark is cut out by McGowan.
The Eagles have put Freeborn to full forward. When Taylor lifted the eyes, there was just nothing there. The ruckman had worked back, so no options available.
And Abbott lost it. They won it the hard way just by putting pressure on. They turned it over. Pays, big jump from behind. That was Windsor. This is Thorne. Pressure everywhere. No easy kicks out there at the moment. And the Dogs smell it. They're going for it. The Eagles a little undermanned, a little unbalanced, and feeling it. It's showing.
Keep in mind, the Eagles in this same fixture last year were in the same position, weren't they? And if they hadn't won a grand final, they were desperate to win it. The sense at the moment that Centrals are just the same way. They need a lucky break, probably. Well, their work rate's excellent.
It is, and maybe that was the result of a comment that, or comments that Stewart's made. He said this morning's press that it's an opportunity for every player to give his heart and soul and stand up and be counted. And pretty stirring from a guy who doesn't talk like that very often.
Still 4 points the margin. I know they'd love to win it, Neville, but they've done a marvellous job so far, Central District.
Sympathetic favourites. I'm sure most South Australian supporters would love to see them, as they did with the Eagles this time last year, get a flag.
Throw in right forward pocket for the Eagles. Arnold over the top. And this is very hard, tough football. And the rain, thankfully, has stayed away. There was forecasts for rain. It's been a little windy, a little cold as well, but it's been terrific football, and once again a fine advertisement for the local competition. Not a lot of goals, but it's just been tough football. So the Eagles still hold on to this narrow lead, 21-17, and we've played 6.5 minutes.
So the next goal in this low-scoring game, absolutely vital. Held on to Morford. Too high. Balance chance. Pressure. Green caught. Held on to. So that was seen. So the Eagles miss one, the Dogs have got it.
Magnificent smother in the middle of this. Look at this, David Green put his body over it. It hurt a bit, but it was a necessary smother because that ball was well on its way.
10 more free kicks, or 11 more free kicks Central than the Eagles at this stage. This does a reflection on umpiring maybe, just a reflection on how determined they are. And beautifully read Arnold, he plays on. He's got Wakeland, he's got alternatives everywhere. This is Swirt. Doesn't he play deep? He is so fit, he covers so much ground. The kick is good, and he finds centre field Brian Arader. He goes on with it, he's got in space, Reimers the wrong way. Schwarz interfered with and gets the free kick, the skipper.
Short chip passes on, Kluzak, and Kluzak now from the half-back flank, kicks beyond the wing up toward right half forward. No mark taken by Kennedy and loses control of it out of bounds now between the wing and half forward.
Bruce Winter a little worried.
screaming instructions. You don't see that very often. He doesn't want to use the runner here. Kennedy's done a reasonable job, hasn't he, as a focal point?
Not bad. First game back for this year. And a seasoned defender, in a sense, played a lot of his football at full-back. Competitive at centre-half forward, probably not the answer, but in the absence of those tools, they really needed him there. He's had 9 and 5, taken 4 marks, so not a bad outing for him.
Eagles are 2 goals, 9-21. Central at 2-5-17. Another ball up, centre wing, western side of Football Park. Good crowd in. And the Eagles lead by 4 points. Foundation Cup action live on ABC Sport. We hope you're enjoying it. It's been an absorbing duel. McKinnon got it across to Swerve, who's tackled superbly by Rowan Thorne, and it's a free kick to Thorne.
Great tackle, wasn't it? Right on the boundary line, perhaps in the action of tackling has spilled out of Stephen's arms, but well rewarded, good tackle.
He's a talent, Thorne. Taylor from behind. A little ambitious, probably. And a ball up. So, an interchange, Steve.
This looks like Abbott's coming off, and Laird is coming onto the ground, limping very heavily. Started brilliantly, Abbott. Tough player, so a fresh player at this stage of the game. It's an important move to make.
To right it is. With the footy on that occasion was Stephen Zeller. Thorne dispossessed. McGowan uses the ball well. Ingerson could have got him behind that to take the mark. I think he realises it too, just didn't read it well. And it's out of bounds, but it's forward of centre for the Dogs. They trail by 4 points. The crowd are very vocal here at the moment. I'm sure their support's for the Dogs. If they get the next goal, the pressure right at the feet of the Eagles. The throw in, just forward of centre wing. At the back, Swerd, a quick kick forward. They're in with a chance here. Caught, Tobias gives it up to Cook. Inside, he finds Richardson, who goes long. He's offline. He's offline. Oh, he'd make you cry. And it's his first kick. He's had 4 handballs, though. The margin's reduced to just 3 points.
Magnificent handball by Cook, wasn't it? Gave him every chance. Another opportunity missed. They might not get too many more, Central. They need to make the most of them.
Here's Spear from the northern end of the ground. Nicol was the target. It's out of bounds. Wasn't touched. So Stevens will bang this back in for Central District. It's a high kick. Ingerson's got his eye on it. He's in front. Was he pushed out of the way? The mark has been taken to the back by Swerve. Stephen Swerve just stood back and took a chance and took it on his chest.
Rogers says it was touched.
They're never paid though, are they, like that? Impossible to tell whether they are touched. Now this Stephen Swerve is one of the most important kicks that you'll have. He had plenty of them on Saturday in a 6-goal haul in Central District's thumping against South Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. 13 and 9. He's had a good night out, but I suspect that of all of those 14, this is going to be his most important kick.
This for the lead, Stephen Swerve. An important one, 35 metres, drop punt, long kick.
No.
He's missed. Well, the drama continues at Westlakes.
What's the difference?
It's the battle of inaccuracy, isn't it?
It's amazing. Spear is a very good player, but he's now under some siege as Central pepper the goals.
Indeed they do. Arnold caught underneath it. Stevens is there. They've all misjudged it. Stevens goes back for it. He's got support in McGowan. He sells the dummy. Chips around the corner, and it's a shocking chip. He must have seen somebody in the grandstand. This is Nicol. Got it back for the Eagles. His kick is good. Tobias. Just forward of centre wing. He goes in long. Taylor by himself. He's got it. Left. Unguarded.
Well, for one of the first times tonight, a forward sits himself in front, and when the ball drops short, you can reap the reward. Now, what an important turnaround this is. Swert has a shot for goal 30 seconds ago, and now Taylor has a chance to blow the lead out to 8 points.
And don't underestimate the wind here. It's pretty gusty. Controls the ball down. He's muffed the kick completely, and the wind is difficult. He's played on. Wakeland in trouble. Potter goes back. They've got out of trouble. Gurdon. They need to do something with this. Stevens, or Laird it was. He backed himself, tried to run around the player, kicked it out on the full.
Pays now for the Eagles. Taylor at the back. Well done by McKinnon. Marty McKinnon. Cool. Oh, almost. That was Cotter. He was the one lunging. Craig Cotter. But it's out of bounds between half forward and the right forward pocket for the Eagles.
Pressure for first gamers, isn't it?
Say it again?
Pressure for first game
absolutely
players.
pressure. Three players, as I said, representing Central District for the first time. One for the Eagles. There's plenty of it on there. Won't want to make a mistake.
Zilla kicks well inside the 50-metre region. Freeborn is there, so is Wakeland. It ricochets to Tobias, he's caught. Umpire not blowing the whistle, out of bounds. Left forward pocket.
So the Central defenders, and maybe the Eagles supporters won't agree with this because they haven't got a lot of free kicks. They've handled the pressure in their defensive area very well indeed. Big knock Arnold. Chart Stevens, isn't he working hard? I remember at Subiaco last year, I was running for the state team. He was absolutely exhausted, and Michael Taylor asked me to ask him if he had any more left in him. He just looked at me, he was half unconscious, and he said, yeah, of course I have. And he did the work. He's a great player. I admire him a lot. They're 2 points up, the Eagles. They'd love to get the next goal. It might just win it for them. We're 13 minutes in. A chance now for Potter. He taps it to the line. He had nowhere else to go.
Andrew Taylor seems to have a free rein through the forward line at the moment. He's been let out of that goal square. Freeborn's still sitting down there. He's being marked by Wakeland. Taylor's just roaming around. It's a cool and calculated supporter. The situation doesn't dictate that sort of approach, I think.
Away they go now, the Dogs. They go over centre. Sitting behind Divine. Beautiful take. Hanley. In he goes long. He wants Richardson or Macri there. He's interfered with. No call. Ball on the ground. Macri's still there. They're holding up. Spear wants the free kick. He won't get it. Oh, yeah. It's heart attack material.
Well, I was looking at Tim Pfeiffer, then the umpire, Neville. He was waiting and waiting and waiting, and he finally blew it and said, I'll have it.
Indeed he did. Down they go. Centrals is the call. Nickel, a chance. Cook will beat Zilla there. He does. Loses his feet. Holds it up. In comes support. And just nothing easy. Players get excited, but eyes only for the ball at this stage.
It's not bad, Tim Cook. He works very, very hard. Kept that ball in the area and has given them another chance.
You're watching this spectacular game on ABC Sport right around the state. Here's Cook. Nickel smothered it. It ricochets out wide. Good commitment there. All the Eagles now with a chance. Here's Morford. Slips it across to Peter Schwarz, midfield. Over he goes now to the dangerous Pays. Pays about 65 metres. Taylor, yes! One of the most important marks in the context of this game.
Just that little bit extra, haven't they? Windsor backed himself, and as you saw when he came into the picture late, he'd made a shocking error by getting inside and underneath of the ball. Taylor played it well.
Here he is. 1 goal to Taylor. He now has 2 goals, and all of a sudden, the Eagles are 3-9-27. They lead Central 2-7-19, and the margin out to 8 points.
Tell me, Stephen, why Windsor wouldn't run straight at the player? Where do you think the ball was out? Where do you think Taylor was?
Well, he'd give it a free kick away under those circumstances, wouldn't he?
Well, he's run everywhere but where Taylor is.
Certainly the contest could have been better in the end, but if he ran straight into him, it was going to be a free kick for sure.
Taylor might be the hero. 3-9 plays 2-7. You wouldn't believe those scores if you weren't here. Cook, we're watching it live on ABC. Kennedy, they go forward again. Cambrelli, he goes in long. He's kicked it. The Eagles will win another one.
Well, a bad kick was the first one up, isn't it? I can't recall him having one before now. Look at this for an exit. Just that little bit extra. They keep barreling it forward. Jason Zilla's always calm. Kennedy, who's done a reasonable sort of a job. And this one from 50. Low and strong. And straight over the top. It's made the Bulldogs' job very, very hard. We've played nearly 17 minutes into the last term. Remember, 20-minute quarters and time on.
Scott Camparelli, you might have made a hero of yourself. Approaching time on. It's 4-9 to 2-7. Central have only kicked 2 goals in 3 quarters. They've got to kick 2 now in about 10 minutes to win the football match. Kennedy lost it. Squirt was there as well, and also Morford. Free kick, Eagles. Central District. Eagles erring there, and this is Cotter. Defensive side of centre. Craig Cotter. Long kick. Just almost inside of 50. Kluzak was the high fly. Girdham over there as well. Anthony Ingerson trying hard. Peter Schwarz does well. No, it was a throw. Oh, this is critical. Well, this is critical. And Chopper Hanley gets on with it. He wastes little time. Long kick, Macri. Oh, at the back. Well done by Nicol.
Played the back play superbly tonight, Stuart Nicol.
Big mark, that one.
It was a great mark, wasn't it? And I agree with you there, Steve. The Dogs need Ingerson to get into this game and get into it quickly. They need McGowan to get around the footy, and they just have to keep getting the numbers to the ball. They're certainly not out of it. Potter's there. He gets a bit of a hand on this occasion. McGowan's got it wide. Hanley now has a look. Chips short, and he's found Stevens. He's put one hand up. He lost it. Charged Green, and he's given away the free kick. Oh, and it's hard to be critical of Stevens. He's been a super player all night, and 25 metres to boot.
Gee, they looked promising there, didn't they? Central District.
And Stevens must have lost that because it wasn't a difficult mark, Mark.
So the Eagles away from half-back. Kick up toward right half forward. Down there is Kennedy. Now Pays. 50 metres out. You need a long kick, Andrew. That's exactly what you've given them. It's close to the line. It's out of bounds. Left forward pocket. Wakeland just getting a hand and a foot to it.
So fans pretty nervous, but obviously not an Eagles supporter. They'd be feeling pretty comfortable at the moment. Sitting on a 14-point lead, so 3 goals. Be hard. He'll only kick 2 for the match. Wakeland. Marty McKinnon, been a good player. He ran a whole lot of yards, but wasn't pulled up. Cook under a lot of pressure. He's got Eagles all around him. They're doing more work, the Eagles. And finally, we talked about it earlier, who would crack first, and it appears that the Dogs just unable to go with the Eagles in these last few minutes.
30 seconds to time on. You're watching the grand final on ABC Sport right around the state. There's a good tackle by Andrew Pays on Craig Cotter. No, well, it's going Cotter's way, so a bit high.
Yeah, it's a bit high, and look, they're still in it with a chance, but they just haven't had enough up forward to look dangerous.
Here's Cotter's kick from centre wing towards centre half forward over the head of Rogers and Nicol. Handley, ricochet, straight to Rogers fortuitously. And away go the Eagles again. Long kick by Sean Ballins, who's playing in his first game. What a big moment for him. There's Craig Cotter again. Good crowd. I get the feeling he's a Central District supporter. Just looking a little despondent at the moment.
And Stuart Nicol, how good him tonight, Mark. He's been superb, hasn't he, in defence?
Marked everything.
And just support all the time to buy us a throw. So McKinnon will take it. He wants to get on with it quickly, or Gurdon will get it. The skipper of the Dogs.
Into time on.
They've waited 30 years. It probably won't happen tonight, but they're not far away. Stevens puts the Dogs forward. He's under pressure. He'll go again. Macri will be into your picture shortly. He's out there with Spear. Stevens there to help. He does the work pretty well, Spear. Gets it along the ground. Stevens just goes and goes and goes. Make an ever-ready battery out, he could. And if anyone should applaud a player tonight, the Dog supporters should applaud him. In picture, just a real goer.
14 points. The Eagles lead. It's worth 10 goals under normal circumstances. Stevens and also Taylor.
He made no effort there, Taylor, and Stevens was looking for the free kick. And maybe a bit unlucky not to get it.
So time well and truly ticking away here at Football Park. Taylor doing the ruck work. Then goes in and just shoots out a short one out wide and wastes more time. They're playing for the Foundation Cup. The Eagles won one last year. Central District have never won a grand final, day or night. And wouldn't they love to win that one? But at the moment it does look as though the Eagles will win it, and they have. So the Eagles win back-to-back Foundation Cup finals. The margin 14 points as their fans start to rejoice. And what an extraordinary game of football. One of the lowest scoring games I've ever seen, 4-9 to 2-7.
Yes, you wouldn't have before the game put any money on this game only attracting something like 6 goals. You would have thought that they would have been true to their to their statistics. The Dogs usually kick up around 15 to 20 goals. The Eagles 20 plus during their averages on this season. As they celebrate the Eagles, they've good reason to, because they went into this game a little undermanned. They lost Schwartz, Neiman and Negri before the game, all their big men, and they had to rely on Peter Schwartz coming back into the side from injury. They had a couple of first gamers, and on the boundary line, Stephen Trigg has for us.
Magnificent feeling down here, and Bruce Winter, congratulations, you must be very proud.
Oh yeah, I mean they bounced out pretty well after Saturday's performance. I reckon I can put that in its proper perspective now.
Absolutely. Now, listen, I remember interviewing you 12 months ago, and you were snaky because you felt that people thought that you couldn't win, and you thought you could. This time around, it's a bit different, isn't it? You were expected to win.
Well, that's true, but what we realised was that Central Districts were in the same situation this year as we found ourselves in last year, and you know, to their credit, it was a fantastic game. I mean, I know it was low scoring, but I reckon that's one of the tightest games of footy I've seen for a long, long time.
Absolutely. Why such a low score, do you think? Was it the pressure from both sides, good defensive action, or how did you see it?
I thought the tackling from both sides was just superb. There was very few free balls came out. It was only really the 2 goals that we got quickly in that last quarter that was the difference. 2 minutes of footy was the difference over a period of 90. It was just a fantastic game, really.
Let's go back to that expectation. When people do expect you to win, I know you have tremendous faith in your players. Their outlook is obviously very good, isn't it? They keep calm, they keep controlled, focused. It's all very good from them.
Well, it is, and maybe, considering what happened last year with the Foundation Cup win and also the final win that we had last year, maybe that gave us a little bit of an edge over against Central Districts. But judging on today's performance, I reckon they'll be around the mark at the end of the year.
Bruce, absolutely they will. Bruce, when you win grand finals, you don't single players out, but you lost some important players before the game. Stuart Nichols' effort and quite outstanding. Yeah,
it was. I mean, we put a big onus on him tonight, and he was prepared to carry that onus, and I thought he did a superb job.
And you're back in action on Saturday. What about the 3? Neiman, Schwartz, and tell me the other one, Negri?
Negri and Chapman.
Where are they placed?
Well, we're not certain. We'll just have to find out Thursday night whether they'll be available Saturday or not. But the performance of the guys tonight is going to make it hard for them.
Well, you look very pleased, and so you should be. Congratulations. Go and celebrate with your players. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks very much, Stephen.